Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well. Our today's lecture is on Java 8 features. In case you are planning for an interview, then you are expected to have a must knowledge on Java 8 features. We will cover the below topics in today's lecture. Now let's start this one by one. First one is functional interface. In your life up to Java 7 versions, you must have seen when there is an interface, then it is not allowed to have a definition. That is abstract method. Now, if you have only one abstract method, which is without a definition, then it is known as functional interface, which means if you have an interface and there's only one abstract method in that, like this is the abstract method because it is not having definition. Now this is known as functional interface. Now it's your choice to write functional interface or not, because if you write it or not, but there's only one abstract method, then these are same. Now within functional interface, two abstract methods cannot be there, which means if I try to have one more abstract method within functional interface, then it's a compilation error. Next, what do you have? Lambda expressions. Lambda expressions help you to write your code in a functional style. Well, let's learn lambda expression. It is used on day-to-day basis. Therefore, you should have a must knowledge on lambda expressions. Now, how to call the functional interface parameter when there is method without parameter. Now, when there is a functional interface and there is no parameter, how to call this? You can call it using I1 object equal to. Now, to call the functional interface abstract method, there is no parameter, so you will not pass any parameter. Lambda. Then what you want to do? You want to override with system.out.println hi. Now, when anyone will call interface print method, then this will be called because you have assigned this to this. Like in interface, you implement the interface in one class and you override it. Similarly, you have override this with this. Now, if you will print this is called correct. Now, how to assign lambda expression when the function has a parameter? Like you have a function add, it is having parameter int a, int b. Now return type is int. Now how to assign the interface this method to any other method? Using lambda expression. In lambda we will give any two variables, then we will return summation of that. So I override this method with this. Now whenever add method will be called, then like 2, 4, it will call this method, and this has overridden by this method, so 6 will be printed here. Let's run this. 6. Other way to write it is like you will have a curly brace, and within curly brace it is mandatory to have a return type for it. Curly brace close, semicolon. These both are same. When you have multiple statements, then use curly brace. When there is only one statement, then do not use curly brace and return. Like this. Next you have runnable interface. Now, how to call Runnable interface using Lambda expression? Well, if you have seen this, in this there is interface and one abstract method. Similarly, Runnable is also having one abstract method only, like Runnable r1 equal to new Runnable, like this. Runnable is also having one abstract method, and how you call it? New thread r1 thread dot start. Similarly, Runnable is an interface which is having only one abstract method. Therefore, it can also be called using Lambda. Correct. Runnable r2 equal to, now there is no parameter. You will write like this, Lambda expression. Then it is not returning anything. So you can do anything like print out. Start one more thread, r2 dot start. So these both are same because here I have used anonymous class and here I have used Lambda. Let's run this. See here. Next is ForEach. You need to learn what is ForEach first before using the Lambda on ForEach. Now let's suppose you have a list, string list equal to new array list dot add. Now, how you used to print it one by one? Using for loop, using for each loop of Java 7. For string name colon list sys out. Similarly, you can use Java 8 feature for the for each, which is object dot for each. That's it. Now use the Lambda expression like a hyphen system dot out dot println a. This is using Java 8. So this is for each. Run this. Correct. Next you have comparator. How you used to use the comparator? Suppose you have a class product. In that you have a name. You have a getter and setter. You have constructor. Now you have a list of product. Like this. Now how you used to sort it? Let's say it is starting with P, it is starting with A, it is starting with Z. Now how you used to sort it? You used to write collections dot sort in Java 7 list comma object of comparator, or you could use the anonymous class here like new comparator. It will override like this, and here you can use your own logic like object dot get name dot compare to object dot get name. This is how you used to sort it in Java 7. Now, this is the functional interface which is having only one method. So you can do like collections dot sort list, comma. Now how to call this? This is having two methods. This is having two parameters, a comma b, lambda expression. Now write this. That's it. Now if I print it using ForEach, I will write list dot ForEach a hyphen system dot out dot println a dot get name, because a is a product. List is having a product. You can also write, to avoid confusion, product, any name you can give. Let's run this. See, first it starts with A, then P, then Z, so it is sorted. Next you have, well, this is the alternative to lambda expression. Method reference is used to refer to functional interface. You can refer static method to functional interface, instance method to functional interface, and constructor to functional interface. How to refer it? Suppose you have an interface. You have abstract method. Now you want to assign it to some other method. You have another method here, like public void print something. Now you want to assign abstract method to this, like you override. How to do it? Now if this is the static method, so you can do it using the class name directly, like interface object I want to assign to this one, main colon colon print something. What it will do, whenever interface abstract method will be called, it will be linked to, like it will be overridden to this one. Now let's call it print method. Whenever we will call print method, this will be called and this is override here, like with this one. Let's run this. Correct. Similarly, when you have a non-static method, then how to refer it? Normally non-static method is called using a variable name. Similarly here, you will create a variable and you will write variable name colon colon method name. This is for non-static. Similarly, you can assign it to constructor as well, like you have a constructor. Now you want it to be assigned to constructor. How you can do it? Normally constructor is declared using a new keyword like new main. Similarly here you can assign it using a new keyword like main colon colon new. If you will run this, then constructor will be called. Correct. Next you have Steam API. Stream API is very important topic as it is used on day-to-day basis. Let's see this. Let's suppose you have a list string. Now, how to stream it? You will write object dot stream. Now you can filter it as well. Like if you want only Suresh, you will write dot filter object or any name. Then if object dot equals Suresh, then only proceed further. Dot count. Give me count. Write long count equal to count. Now how many times Suresh is coming? 1. If Suresh is coming 2 times, then it will give you 2. If you want Suresh as well as Ramesh, so if object equal to Suresh or object equal to Ramesh, now Suresh is 2 times and Ramesh is 1. So 1, 2, 3. Count will be 3 now. Correct. This is one type. Now other is map function. Now if you want to filter, give only Ramesh and then give it in list. You will write. Now I want to collect it. What I will write? Dot collect collectors dot to list. What it will do? It will convert it into a new list. List string L2 equal to, what it will do? It will filter Ramesh and give it in a list. System.out.println L2, only Ramesh will be there. Correct. Now if you want to perform any logic here, like you want to change the name of Ramesh, what you can do is dot map any name, then you can do name plus append anything. 2. I will change the name to name plus 2. It means Ramesh 2. Run this. Correct. If you don't want a filter, you want each and every attribute to append some value. Let's run this like this. Now map function is intermediary function and this is terminal function, which means if there is no terminal function which is used, then map function will not be executed. I will write this, and here if I'm using curly bracket, then I have to use a return value here. This is a general format. Now I will write system.out.println inside map. Now if I'll run this, now inside map is not printed because this is intermediary function and no terminal method is called. If I will use terminal method as well, now intermediary method will be executed. Let's run this. Absolutely correct. Map is called 3 times because there are 3 objects in a list. Next, default method. You must have seen up to Java 7 when there's an interface, then no definition within the method is allowed because there are abstract methods. But now in Java 8, within the interface, default methods, it means method with a definition is also allowed. Let's say you have an interface, you have a method. This is a functional interface. Now you have another method in which you want to give the definition. This is not allowed within the interface, but if you declare it with default keyword, now this is allowed. How to call this? We will assign some variable, like first we will override this method, like public void print something. Print. Now I will override this one. How to do it? I have told you this is non-static method, so you need to have object of the class. Main. Now interface I1 equal to, using a method reference, so you will use object colon colon print. So this is point to this method. Now if you want to call default method, you can use object dot default method. You can call directly. Let's run this. Correct. Similarly, in Java 8, static method is also allowed with an interface. How to call this? Using directly name of the class. So I1 dot print2. Correct. Next you have ForEach. ForEach you have already seen while in the example of Lambda expression. Next you have StringJoiner. StringJoiner is to join multiple values, like you have a list of type string, in that you used to add, but in that they are in different indexes. But now I want only one string variable with the comma separated values. How to do it? String joiner sj equal to new string joiner. I want the values to be separated by comma. I will write sj dot add. If I print it, now what is the value within the sj? This is not a list. This is only one string value which is separated by comma. This is string joiner. You can have starting and end index as well. Like in the starting, I want to append this, and in the end, I want to append this. Run this. This is a string, not the list. Next you have optional. Optional is a new class in Java 8. It is generally used to handle null pointer exception. String size s equal to new string of size 10. Now what you're doing is string at index number 5 dot to lowercase. You're doing anything within this index to convert it to lowercase. But if at index number 5 string is null, so null dot to lowercase will give you null pointer exception. So to overcome this, optional is introduced. You will write optional, you will give type object equal to optional dot of nullable. This is the way to write it. You want to deal with S5, then write S5 here. Now you can use directly like if object dot is present, then print it. Object dot how to retrieve the value from the optional attribute using dot get. Else I will write empty. Let's run this. Empty is printed. Now if I will be having any value here like S5, I assign it to Ramesh. Now it will go within this and Ramesh will be printed. Correct. Now if I don't have anything and I print object, it will be optional dot empty. However, if it is having a value, then I'm not using object dot get. I'm only using object. In this case, it will be optional of the value. If you will load object dot get, then it will give you 1. Well, this is all on optional. Well, this is all on Java 8. I hope you like the session. Do like and subscribe for more updates. And in case you have any query, do let me know in the comment section and I will resolve it. Thank you, friends.